Hello everybody, welcome to Dandelion Cottage and Watercolor Wednesday. I'm Leslie Watkins. So we are having another beautiful autumn day here in New England. We have some rain coming into the forecast shortly, so a lot of these pretty leaves will probably be knocked down, but you never know. But right now everything's really pretty. And so I thought what I would do would be to share a little autumn watercolor with you. Well, actually, painting with ink. So over the weekend, I did have a chance to go out and do a quick watercolor study of a scene nearby. And I thought that it might be fun to recreate the same kind of scene, not exactly the same, but similar, in inks. So I have my palette here, and this is just primarily yellow, red, and blue, and over time some other colors have gotten mixed up in there, and that's fine. It doesn't matter. I also and by the way, these are the same inks that we use to refill the stamp pads. These are water-based inks, and they work beautifully for the watercolor technique. I also have a water painter, which is a brush that has the water reservoir in the handle. And I'm just going to do a kind of a loose abstract picture to begin with. And I'm mixing up a kind of a grayish tone, kind of a blue-gray. And I'm just going to get started with that in the middle of my paper. And I'm using plenty of water. And it's okay if some of the white of the paper stays free from color. And I'm just going to put this right down the center of my page like so. And I'm using a lot of water right now. This is a what we would call a wet and wet technique. So I'm just letting the water pull the ink however it wants to go. All right, and then I'm going to take some of my red and put that right into the mixture. Pull that across. Something like that. Get that little piece of dust out of there. It's bugging me. There we go. And I'm going to add some of the beautiful golden color. Okay, so very simple. I'm going to do the same thing on this side. So just red, yellow, and blue. That's all it is. I see Ginger, Vicky, and Kelly are with me today. Good morning, ladies. I hope everybody's having a good week so far. Ginger's going to be helping me coordinate with the Paper Pal tag swap. So Ginger, I know you sent me that stuff to look at, and I will be getting back to you hopefully later today or first thing tomorrow. And for those of you who are interested, I have a private group here which is called the Dandelion Paper Pals, and I created the group specifically for my followers. So all the people out there who follow me and like and subscribe and contribute to the shows, I felt like we needed a place where we could share our designs, especially to see the alternatives that people would have to some of the projects that I would introduce to you all. So if that is something that anybody out there is interested in participating with, please go ahead and look for that group, Dandelion Paper Pals. You can leave a comment below so I know who you are, because if I don't recognize your name, I'm going to be careful about who I let into the group. I don't want any spammers or people that aren't interested. So let me know, and I will invite you into the group. All right, so my paper is starting to dry a little bit, so that means I can begin to get some shapes on here. Just adding some additional texture. And I'm going to see if I can add a little bit of a greenish tone on the edge here. So we still have a little bit of green in the grasses. There we go. Okay, I think I'm going to just put this aside for the minute to dry while I prepare the card base. Now I've got an assortment of cardstock here, but I'm just going to pick one. I think I'm going to go with the Evening Evergreen. So I've got some scraps, and this is a very vanilla card base, standard size, so it's 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And I've also got my Evening Evergreen stamp pad here. I'm going to go back to the painted pheasant set because it's got this very nice Happy Thanksgiving sentiment. So I'm going to go ahead and use that. I've got some scraps here. Make sure I've got that going in the right direction. I'm going to do this a couple of times just so I have some extras. There we go. So there's my Happy Thanksgiving, looking very pretty. I'm going to grab my trimmer, and I'm just going to cut out one of these for now. Go. And I have a, let's see, what is this? This is about 2.5, so I'm going to measure this at 2 3/4. Trim that down a little bit so that it will reveal. There we go. Let's see, is that enough? Pretty good. A little bit more, I think. I'll take some off the bottom. I love that the trimmer is so precise that it lets you make these extremely fine cuts. There we go. Now that should fit. That looks nice. Alrighty. So I'm just going to glue that down. Alright, so there's my sentiment ready to go. Give that a little bit of a burnish. Okay, now I'm going to bring my painting back for a minute. It's a little bit drier. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take an old toothbrush and I'm just going to get some ink on there. I'm going to take my plexiglass back again so I don't get this all over. And I'm just going to spatter along both sides, just like that. Just for a little bit of added texture. Now the paper is still damp, so the spatter will dissolve a little bit here and there, and that's okay. I just want to give a little added spatter to the picture. Now, if you have gold paint or gold ink, you could also add some spatter in the metallic gold, and that would give it a beautiful extra touch if that's the look you're going for. But I'm going to keep it simple today because I want this to be an easy project that anybody can do. So now that I've got my painting prepared, it's still damp. If it was drier, I'd be happier, but I can still make this work. And I'm just going to cut this down. Excuse me. So I'm going to cut this at 4 1/4 on the short side. Oops, sorry, bumped the camera there. And then I'm going to cut it again at 5 1/2 on the long side. Now this is going to be a little bit oversized for what I want, but I can select now from each of these 4 paintings which one I want to use. So I'm just going to grab this one that's closest, and I'm just going to trim down the bottom to 3 3/4 and the top to 5. So there's my little autumn scene. Now I can take that and mount that onto my mat here. So again, using the liquid glue. That's centered. Now, even though the paper is damp, now ideally in your studio or your craft room, you're going to give that paper enough time to dry. Because of the video, I'm just moving ahead. But even though the paper is damp, the liquid glue is still going to make a good adhesion. If you were to try to do this with some other kind of a tape runner or the double-sided tape, you would probably run into some trouble with the dampness. So I just want to put that out there. All right, so there is that. I'll grab my card base, do the same thing here. And I will excuse me, I will list all the supplies that I'm using today in the comments, or actually in the description below after I do the video. So it just takes me a few minutes to get all the links linked up and all the information on there, and to get the video uploaded to YouTube. And by the way, if you are a Facebook watcher and are interested in seeing other videos of mine, please go to my YouTube channel, also at Dandelion Cottage Design, and you will find hundreds of videos there. And please like and subscribe when you go there. Talking about liking and subscribing, right here on my Facebook group, I'm getting very close to getting 1,000 viewers, which is so exciting. If you are somebody who's been watching and you like what you see, please subscribe. I want to see I want to hit that $1,000 mark. So there is my card for today. Now this I'm going to put up on dimensional, so I'm not going to glue that down right now. And also, once it's dry, I may want to put a little more detail in there. So I'm going to leave it just like that. My matching envelope. So this is a very, very easy way that you can use your water-based inks to get a very pretty watercolor effect using just 3 colors, red, yellow, and blue, and make a very pretty card that could be either feminine or masculine. So this would be a great card for anybody. So thank you so much for watching today. I'll be back on Saturday for Paper Crafting Saturday and for the 12 weeks of Christmas. And I'll put those links below as well. Every Saturday through December 10th, I'm going to be presenting a free class on how to make a cute project in time for Christmas. and everybody and anybody is invited. I'd love to have you join us. We have a really nice private group that we hold the classes in, and there's no charge, but you do have to register so I can let you into the group. So I will put that information down below as well. I hope this gave you some ideas. I can't wait to see what you do with it. Please post your cards and paintings that you do in the Dandelion Paper Pal group. I'd love to see you there. I'll see you next Saturday right here, 12 noon. Stay well, be happy, and stay creative. And I'll see you then.